Alright, hello everyone. Today I will be running through the third game in my road to get to 1900. So in this game, I'm playing white, and it went a bit sharp. So what I'll do again is to run through my moves without the engine. I'll try not to take too long. Then after that, we'll see what the engine has to say about it. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so c4. Again, the idea is to control the center, and then Fian Shadow my light square bishop and control the light squares in the center. Yeah, and of course along this diagonal as well. So black plays knight f6, challenging that idea. I play g3, getting ready to fianchetto my light square bishop. He plays e5. So now this looks like a reverse Sicilian, so the game is going to be quite sharp. Yep, and it becomes a reverse Sicilian. Yeah, so all these moves that he's playing, it's to control the center or challenge my control of the center. You see, this controls d4, which I'm not controlling, and this challenges my control of the d5 square. So I capture back. I capture because there's not much else that I can do. There is, I mean, I don't have to capture it, but I think it's bad to not capture. Like if I just did this, he captures. Sure, I got this check here to get this pawn back, but I think, at least from what I've noticed, everyone always captures here. So that's why I did it. It's not really good reasoning, but I believe that there's theory to prove it. But I didn't want to play play with fire. I just captured. Okay, so I went to check the reason why you have to take here, and it's because if you just play some move like knight c3, then you concede a space to black. Okay, no, you won't do that. You push this, so it'll provoke your knight to move, and you also gave him more space. So that is why it's not a good move. And yeah, in general, you always see these types of pawn pushes from the center to provoke your knight. Sometimes it's bad, but other times it is good. And this is one example of it being good. Another example I can think of is maybe the Scandinavian. If played incorrectly, hold on, takes. Yeah, so it comes here, and yeah, then you have this pawn push to provoke the knight. As you can see, it's already plus 1.3 because yeah, the knight has to move away. You've gained more space in the center, more control over the center, and there are many other reasons to why this pawn push is good, which I can't uh, and I can't seem to recall everything at the moment. But yeah, this is just one of the reasons why not taking over here is bad. You allow this pawn push, which um, which wouldn't be favorable for your position. Yeah, exactly why it isn't favorable is something I'm not able to fully explain, but it's just something that I know I should be careful of now. Yep. Okay, so his knight being over here. Now I want to challenge that. You see, I'm actually attacking his knight twice now, so he needs to defend it. And in general, like whether you're playing Sicilian as black or the reverse Sicilian as white, um, when you're whoever has a knight in the center, in this position, whoever's playing the white in the Sicilian, right? I don't know how to explain this. Like, if you're the one who put your king's pawn in the center, yes, and then your knight ends up in this position, you do not want to capture the enemy's knight on either c3 or c6 if you are white playing the Sicilian, and that's because of b takes c3, and or if you're black playing this setup, then it'll be b takes c6. But the point is that now I get to bring my rook over to the b file, and there'll be a lot of pressure on this pawn, and it'll be it's the plan is straightforward for me now, and it's just a lot more pressure gets added to this pawn if you make this trade. You also lose control of the center, so that's why typically you don't want to capture the opponent's knight. And as for white, like for me in this case, I also do not want to capture his knight because then okay, so if my bishop went here, so if I were black, right, my bishop wouldn't be here because I'm one tempo down. Okay, I can just show it to you. Okay, let's say he plays Sicilian. Okay, so you see what I say about the bishop not being here because of one tempo down. So here, again, like white wouldn't want to trade because then I bring my rook here and my bishop here, and then there'll be pressure on this pawn. Yes, what if the queen comes here? There's theory on this. Okay, so I want to check the engine as to what to do if white plays queen d4. So okay, the reason why I do not study this is because as black I mainly play the perk, So to avoid having to study so many lines in the Sicilian. And but if white plays this, I would think that knight f6 is best. Okay, not because I'm looking at the engine, but because I do consider this move as well. But that hinders your development a lot, the development of your knight, and that also weakens your. If you play this, it weakens the light squares to your king. I'm assuming that you want a castle. King side, I don't think you'll be castling queen side because it's already weakened so much, and you want this rook on this file. You want this rook on this file, so you'll be moving the rook here. But if you castle king side, if you castle queen side, this rook will be all the way here. So yeah, that's why knight move makes sense to me. And what if he pushes this pawn? Well, then we can just bring our knight over to d5, where it's protected by our c6 pawn. And again, so I'm playing the suboptimal move here because this is what I think most people will be afraid of. If he plays this, okay, then I will go for the queen trade. Yeah, and I'm guessing just bring the knight back. Okay, so I wouldn't want to take the pawn because that leaves these two pawns doubled. Let's see how much worse it is. Okay, so it's not that much worse. Yeah, but I would prefer this. Okay, so and I think from here, it isn't so scary anymore. We can end the study. But so let's consider what happens if he pushes the pawn. Well, then we see we can bring our knight back. Pawn takes on f7. King takes on f7. So I considered a few moves before I started recording. I did consider this and this. So this bishop d3 is what previously the engine considered to be the best move. Okay, now it's considering it to be the best move. But personally, I was wondering what happens if he plays this. So I want to see how the engine would react or what the best response is. And honestly, d5 didn't come to my mind first because now this leaves a very weak c6 pawn. There's nothing that can protect it anymore. And I was like, what if the bishop just drops back, maintaining this pin? Then there's this move, e5, which is something that I realized is quite potent in a few of these variations because of bishop to b4. So the queen can't capture because bishop b4 check, and you can't just block with another piece because then I'll play rook d8 and you lose your queen. So he has to move the king. But then again, we get I'm guessing we have the advantage because we get so much tempo to develop our pieces, and the development of our pieces is also very optimal. We are controlling a lot of key squares around the enemy king, and the king's safety is not the best. He's stuck in the center. He's uncastled. His entire king side is undeveloped. So that's what happens if white captures the pawn, which is undefended. So that's quite cool. And if white decides to drop back the pawn, drop back the queen, then we just continue our development. And throughout the entire sequence, if white decides to capture this, then again it reverts back to the same idea that we discussed, where king isn't able to defend or block the check with his piece because of rook d8. So bishop b4 is like a constant problem or constant tactic with that response to queen takes e4. So the king has the castle. Yep, and so from here I would. Oh, so what if he captures? If I do this, what if he captures the pawn now? Okay, so the bishop gets trapped. Okay, so from here I think we should end the study. It's a bit deep already, at least for me. So the study is pretty deep. So yeah, I think we can end the analysis here. End it right. Oops. Okay, no, we got the king to castle. Yeah. So yeah, in this position, you can end the study, and you evaluate the position for yourself, and you think, is this something I am comfortable playing? And if so, then by all means, go ahead and play the Hyper-Accelerated Dragon as black. But personally, I would very much not like to play this position, even though there are many open lines for my pieces. My development is faster than white. So pieces are all stuck on the king side. White's king is safer, and if you're unable to capitalize on your piece development advantage at the moment, and white gets to develop his pieces, then you will lose this advantage, and your king would just be stuck here. So I think it's quite a risk. Yeah, and so and I'm someone who prefers less fast-paced, more controlled game. So this doesn't really appeal to me, and I think it's just really risky. So anyway, let's get back to our game. Flip the board. Okay, yeah. So this controls the light squares, brings his knight out, challenges those. light squares, my light square control. G3 getting ready to defend shadow bishop. Okay, let's continue from here. So he defends his knight because it's being attacked twice already by both my knight and my bishop. Okay, then I play this to attack his pawn. So we're not afraid of some e4 push because we can just capture the pawn. And because I'm attacking his pawn, he needs to defend it. Yeah, and typically the move is to bring your other knight out to protect this pawn. You don't want to play the bishop to protect the pawn because this is a very passive square for the bishop. You would rather it be somewhere else. Somewhere else where it can be more active. Yep. So I castled over here. He brought his bishop here, and so here's where the first think for me, first think in the game came in for me, because I want to capture this pawn here. So uh, again, if you're wondering, oh, how do you see this so fast? It is not because I'm a genius. It's just because I've seen this tactical motif multiple times, and I've done it in the perk multiple times before. So okay, I know this may get a little boring, but it's just for educational explaining sake. In the perk there's this idea as well. Where castles, he castles, and I capture here. And this is a motif that you see many times when the bishop is on a c4 or c5 if you're white, and then you capture the pawn in the middle over here. So you don't win anything, but you have this central fork trick. And typically, if you are the person that got forked, the central fork, you want to retain your bishop pair. Yeah, but the point of this is that you ruin white's control of the center, and it also opens up your fin shadow bishop. So let's go back to our game. Yep, so over here, I did take the pawn, but there's an issue between this and in the perk. That's that I'm missing my c-file pawn. And so this makes a big difference because I won't have any pawn here. And moreover, the other difference is that his knight is over here and it's threatening to take my knight. So what I calculated was what happened, okay, where I capture his pawn, captures back, I fork both the bishop and the knight, but he has this intermediate move where he captures my knight. Now the problem with this is that he will bring his bishop back. Okay, so again, this is what I calculated, and I thought this was his best move as well. And so now when I capture his knight, he captures this pawn, and I have a weakness over here. So I saw that from this position, but I thought that it wouldn't be so bad because at the end of the variation, my light square bishop is actually attacking this pawn, and I thought, okay, so I stopped calculating at that point, and I evaluated that maybe there is compensation, and because the center opening up is good for me and all the trades of pieces, because right now he has, at least what I think is that he has more pieces in the center, he has more control over it. If the center breaks up, it also opens my light square bishop, which is something that seems to be good for me. Yep, so I went ahead with it. And then okay, at this point, here's my next long think, because again, I calculated till this position, and I was wondering, should I take the pawn? And if I take the pawn, he'll take my pawn on c3. I capture his rook. Oops. I capture his rook. He captures my rook. Yeah, but then I have things like, checking over here. And yeah, maybe getting some tempo off with moving my dark square bishop off the way, then attacking his bishop. Yeah, so I thought maybe this would be good. And even if I didn't have this, let me just show you what I mean. Capture. Check. If he moves here, then I get tempo and I get to win his queen. I mean, his bishop. But of course, that wouldn't happen. So even if he plays something like this, I could always just drop my bishop back. Maybe here, somewhere. Maybe here. Then with ideas of dropping it back to protect my queen if he moves his bishop off the way. Or, yeah, and the game just continues. And I think I might be better. He will be castling soon. And he can't even castle right now because I can play bishop a3, which will threaten his rook, and bishop at the same time. So, honestly, I think my position is nicer to play. At least that's what I thought. So I did take this pawn, but he played this instead. He didn't want to capture my pawn and go into that variation. So at this point, my bishop's hanging, this pawn is hanging, and I was wondering what I could do about it. And I came out with this move, queen e4 check. So the point of this move is to gain a tempo to get my queen to this square here. And the reason for why I have to give this check first is because he needs to block the check. So there's only one good way to block the check, and that's with his bishop. If he blocks with the queen, then I would simply win it. If he moves his rook, if he moves his king out of the way, which doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, then I got this check here. And if he were to block, then I will capture and win a pawn at the end of the line. maybe I don't win it. Does he have this? No, he doesn't, of course. What am I saying? Yeah, so he wouldn't want to move his king as well. And so it seems like the best thing for him to do is put his bishop here. Of course, pushing a pawn doesn't work because I just capture this with check, get my bishop out of harm's way, and everything I just explained continues to take effect. You know, he can't block his queen, he can't move his king out of the way. So yeah, played bishop d7, and then I played queen here. So yeah, I'm not sure why it's flagged out as a mistake. We'll find out soon. But the point is that I protect my bishop and also pin his bishop. And of course, I wouldn't want to capture my queen if I had a choice. I want to play maybe f4 to capture his bishop, so I maintain control over or protection over my light square bishop. So he plays queen d7, and at this point I know that if I can somehow deflect his queen, I can win a bishop with check and then win this pawn as well. So I played bishop a3. I'm not sure what engine thinks of this move. It might be unsound because I only saw that it deflects queen. I didn't fully consider all of black's moves, but I saw that he only had a few playable moves. And I was happy with that. I was developing, attacking at the same time, and putting a lot of pressure on his position and his uncastled king. So I like this move anyway. And he plays c5, which is a blunder, but okay, I made a mistake here as well. Not sure what the optimal move is. I was considering bishop c6 as well as rook f d1, just to bring my rooks to the open file, and of course rook a b1. This move seemed good to me because he can't capture, because I capture if checked and win the pawn. And if I capture his bishop, he has to recapture the king. If I do this, let's say he makes some random move like this. Okay, sorry, no, maybe not that. Okay, let's say if he castles, that's bad because I win this bishop. He can't capture this because I didn't capture the other bishop, and I'll be up a piece. Okay, but let's say he makes a random move. Okay, if I capture here, yeah, again it's the same problem where he can't capture the queen because I win a bishop, so he has to capture the king and lose castling rights. Yeah, so this move seemed appealing to me, but I thought it was more important to bring my rooks to the open file first and get my queen off the burden of protecting my light square bishop. So I played bishop e1. He castled, and over here I noticed this potential skewer, but I also noticed that his queen is hanging and more opportunities to put pressure on his position. So I played f4, which is a mistake because I realized he could just drop his bishop back and protect his queen. Then I would want to trade off my bishops because my king is so exposed now. And it favors him to have the queen on the board. So, or maybe I should just drop my queen back here and try to win this pawn. But I saw that my king's a bit too exposed, so I didn't want to take the risk. I wouldn't want to take the risk. But instead, he blunders. He plays bishop d4. So bishop d4 is a move that is actually a legitimate tactical motif because my queen's hanging. But the only problem is that my queen is not hanging. So I don't think he saw that. He gave up a full bishop, like a discovered check. He saw that maybe he thought, oh, it's either I block or I capture with my pawn, and then he captures with my queen, which is actually what happened in the game. But then I just recaptured his queen, and now I'm a whole piece up. And mind you, he can't even recapture my pawn because he loses his rook. So this position is entirely lost for him, and he resigned in this position. Here. Yep. All right. So now we take a look at the position, but with the engine now. Okay. So I think the critical moments were here. Okay. Should I take a pawn? Okay. It seems like the engine likes that. It will want to ruin my king side a little and capture. Okay. I think during the game I did consider this. I really don't like this, but I thought that the open f file works in my favor. I don't, because if he castles kingside, I'll be the one putting pressure on his position and not so much him putting pressure on my position. So that was the only pro that I saw. But I would very much prefer the other line where I get to keep my king safe. Of course, we're not worried about this dark squares because he doesn't have his dark square bishop. Sure, he can put his queen there, but again, a queen on the dark squares and a dark square bishop on dark squares. Like, if it was a dark square bishop, he would be able to trade off my rook, but if it's a queen, he wouldn't just trade off the rook like that. So, yeah. Okay, let's continue. Play this. Was it his best move to take? Yes, it was. Okay, so what would have made more sense here for him? Okay. What would... I see. So I'm up a pawn, but honestly, I'm going to lose it very soon. it's doubled. These are isolated. So even though I have an extra pawn, my pawn structure is a lot less healthy. Okay. So I guess this isn't the best because he would get to trade off my Fen Shadow Bishop. And what if I want to keep it? What if I play something like this? Okay, he plays this. Oh, what? Stockfish wants to give up the exchange. Okay, and if I decide to just give up the exchange, or not give up the exchange, if I keep my rook, then okay, still lose my rook anyway. Okay. Anyway, I capture here. Let's take a look at our blunders. Okay, so checking would be better first instead of taking. Okay, so my idea seems to make sense. Oh, okay, then you capture if. Okay, then he castles. I see. Oops. Okay. Okay. Well, this position seems a lot less sharp, and I actually like this position better because it's easy to target black's weaknesses on the queen side. My extra pawn is here with me, while his even though we have sorry, not extra pawn, but even though we have the same number of pawns, like he has two isolated pawns, I only have one, so it's might be easier to attack his weaknesses. Okay, so okay, but I captured instead. So for him, trading queens would make sense. Check. Honestly, I would bring my bishop here instead, and I would go for this endgame. Yeah, looks a bit equal, but I would still play it. Like if he had traded queens. Okay. Anyway, he made this was a mistake, and queen a4 is the best move. So it seems like the engine wants to take the pawn instead of playing queen e4. Let's see why. Castles. So it's just to cash in the pawn immediately. Well, my reasoning for not taking the pawn is because. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see. Why is it that? Yeah, I didn't want to take. Oh, okay. We have a fork here. So this pawn really isn't hanging. Okay, that's cool. Wow, this pawn is being tactically protected if when I capture. And when I play queen takes a7. That's why it works. I didn't see that, and so I thought this was better. Okay, queen here. So playing bishop c6 here would be good already. Okay, yeah, so it's tactically defended again, as in like if he captures this, I can capture here, and when he can capture, then there's a fork. Yeah. Oh, you don't even bring in the. Oh, you do. And now you're up a piece. Wow. Okay. So I played this move instead. So it's I guess it's okay. I still have the advantage, but it's not the top three moves. Oh well, I like it anyway. And this was a blunder. Oh, yeah. I saw that. Actually, this defense does it? No, wait. Did I cover this? I would probably trade queens here. Okay. See where my mistakes are. Okay. So it seems that this bishop c6 idea is something that the engine likes a lot. And I think I explained this part where, yeah, if he captures, then I capture, and then I win this pawn. And he can't just castle because I will capture this bishop, then capture this bishop. Yeah, but yeah, he can play bishop d5 to guard this pawn, but let's see what happens. Check. Comes here. Oh, they haven't captured the pawn. I bring the other rook in. Why not? Yeah, I feel like bringing this out makes more sense. Okay, I'm guessing he protects this bishop. Oh wow, wait. Okay, wait. I think I'm guessing you can capture this pawn if you make some random move. Okay, no, not that. Check. And if he moves up. Oh, okay. Oh, this is bad. Okay. Okay, okay. Yeah. This is an idea that I missed. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, rook b1, castle. So this is inaccuracy because he can just drop his bishop back to protect his queen. Yeah, no, from here there's not much to calculate anymore, but or not much to talk about anymore. So it seems like in this game, yeah, I made 2 mistakes and 1 inaccuracy, and the 2 mistakes, it was first not capturing the pawn. Yep, that's because I missed the fork here, and then the other mistake was rook b1 because I missed the bishop c6 idea. But yeah, seeing that his queen isn't able to recapture the bishop, it has to be his king. But what if, yeah, it has to be his king because his queen is pinned. Yeah, this seemed quite difficult to have spotted. Maybe if I thought a little bit more, I would have seen it, or like seen that the idea was working or was good, because I did see the idea, but I just thought maybe I wanted to play a bit too safe. I wanted to protect this bishop first. Maybe that's my problem. And I also saw that moving my bishop off the way gives him the foul, and I thought that when he has the open foul, tactics may arise from that, and so I decided to play it safe and just protect my bishop first before I continue with the attack. But it seems like I should have like that is what stopped me from playing bishop c6. But yeah, I believe that's all for this game. Actually, there's one last thing. Instead of f4, what would the best move? Play this. Okay, so he wouldn't want to trade rooks because that would make him lose control of the file. And okay, oh wait, is trading queens bad? Oh, did I plant? Oh, my bishop's here permanently, unless he trades it off. Okay, he seems to want to double rooks. So this is a very smart move because if I capture, he fixes his pawn structure. But I think I'll bring my other rook into the game. Yep, and attack this weakness. And okay, so I have an extra pawn. So if I trade off all my pieces, the endgame may be winning for me. So this doesn't seem too bad. I wouldn't mind playing this, even though it's not straightforward. Okay. Yeah, this doesn't make any sense now that I saw the other variation. Anyway, that seems to be it for today. It's quite a short game. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something from this.